All right, after much technical difficulties, we are in business, as they say. Um, the music part of Roll20 is borked tonight because their servers are apparently all screwed up. They use a service called Fanburst to stream music, and it's all chingarded tonight. And the forums are a bunch of pissed off people, angry and screaming. But thankfully, I
Borked?
have, yeah, I have compiled the YouTube links
Borked.
of basically the songs that I use. So if you want atmospheric background music, like it'll show up on the video that I capture. But
Yeah, that's good.
if you want music for the scenes, like feel free to open that link in another tab.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's all right. I probably would even be able to hear it through your window, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think you can hear it, but I'm playing it like in the background now, so that way it'll show up on the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if you want the atmospheric action, feel free to open up another tab. Um, uh,
Oh, I see. Oh, you sent it to me. There we go.
yeah, I sent it to you right there. See? Yeah, so you can open up another tab. It's the song I used. A lot of the music I used is from this the Ace Attorney series, which I told you about actually.
Okay.
It's that series of lawyer games where you play a lawyer. It's like visual novels, and
Yeah.
it inspired a lot of the well, it basically inspired the characters of Lester and Claudia. Actually, I sort of based them off of the two main characters in the Ace Attorney games, but they kind of Lester and Claudia seem to have developed their own personalities over the course of our hours playing, so they're a bit different now.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
that's a nice 30-minute extended YouTube file.
This is
So
true.
yeah. So yeah, that's one way to get around the borked,
Yeah. Oh,
borked
Spirit of
music.
Justice.
Yeah, Spirit of
This is what it's
Justice.
called.
Yeah, it's from Phoenix Wright
Ace
Ace Attorney
Attorney.
Spirit of Justice. This is the
All
2016
right.
entry in the series. Um, oh yeah, and so another thing that you'll notice on the little player icons, I added a health bar. You should be able to see it, yeah?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, look at that
Yeah.
short sword. Wait, this is Carter. Short sword. Maybe that's not actually me. Oh, wait a second. Vicious whip.
Oh,
Wait, hold on a second.
that's actually for another character. Just what are you looking at right now?
Oh, there's a ton of these. I guess I'm looking at all of them. Oh, never mind.
Oh, are you like looking at
Uh,
the chat entries right now?
yeah.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
No. I meant look at so look at just look at boom. Look at in the middle of the screen. Look at Lester and Claudia. They have green bars atop there.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I
oh,
meant. That's what I meant.
oh.
So that
Okay.
you see that, right? You should see that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that represents their
Okay.
health. I just made it so you can actually see like a visual representation of the
Oh,
health.
nice.
And then if you click on their icons, like if you click on Lester and Claudia, you'll see those little bubbles pop up. And like if you click on Lester, it shows like the middle bubble, the green one, it'll always show his HP. So Lester's at 31 hit points right now. And then
Okay.
the blue bubble next to that shows his armor class. His armor class is 14.
Okay.
That's the number that enemies have to beat if they want to hit him with an attack.
Okay.
Yeah. So that way you don't always have to see. You can just click on them and you'll see an easy indicator of what all those values are. Then the red bubble, don't worry about that. That's used for like temporary damage or like exhaustion and stuff like that, which we haven't really used so far. But
Gotcha.
I made it so you should be able to click on Claudia and see her stats as well. You should be able to see her three bubbles pop up. She has 22
Yes.
yeah, she has
20, yeah,
22 hit
22.
points and 14 armor class, same as you. And I also you can also see Claudia's character sheet, I believe. I don't know if you were able to see this before.
I was able to before. Yeah.
Oh, you were able to see this
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't. I don't think I could edit it.
Oh, you couldn't
But,
edit it. Well, now,
I
yeah,
was able to.
now you can see it at least. Another interest. Well, we'll get into the rest later. But it's just I learned a couple interesting tricks for Roll20. Um, but that's beside the point. Basically, jumping back into where we were last time, you and Claudia received a letter from that little girl, Rosella, who you unfortunately missed meeting in the early morning. Yeah. She got this letter, and she talked about how the orphanage master, he takes the kids on a hike in the woods to build friendship and outdoor skills, but it's very shady, and then the kids disappear. And the next hike is scheduled for today, unfortunately.
Yep, that's what. So that's what I figured we were gonna do, for like today. Well, today is we're gonna actually go start to trail them. I was wondering actually. I thought about this after the last episode if we should break out the costumes again.
You could break out the costumes, yeah, or you could. Well, so you got a couple options. You can break out the costumes. You could try to tag along with them. You can enlist the aid of. Last time you investigated the orphanage with Wander, and you found out that the whole place was magically guarded at night. You could try to investigate the orphanage again. You could ask Quentin and Sybil for help. They're eating breakfast in the table next to you. The wizards are still asleep. You could make them wake up and ask them for help too. It's really up to you.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do all of those things.
All right.
I'm gonna wake up the wizards. I'm gonna ask Quentin and his companion for help. I might actually talk to Marvin. Is it Marvin? I guess his name?
Yeah, Marvin is the one in front of you guys right now. He just gave you a big plate.
Yeah, I might. Yeah. So while we're eating, I maybe show him that letter, and I figure out how we're going to do that, because like they probably have a head start, I would imagine, right? They're probably already hiking
if they're gone, yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So actually, why don't I do that while let's see, where am I? Over here, right? We're eating, right? So I'd like to actually show Marvin this letter.
All right, Marvin looks at the letter and reads it over and reacts in distress. He's like, "This is some serious stuff. Who gave this to you? This is that little girl in the orphanage, Rosella."
Yeah.
She's the one that.
Yeah, I was actually.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was supposed to meet her this morning, but I overslept, and for better or for worse, she left a note for us. So one, I feel like an ass for oversleeping, but we were up, as you know, like trying to learn more about what was going on last night, and so. But I think I think I have to. I think this is going to be a clue that we can't really ignore. It sounds like she's in trouble.
Yeah, this is bad. Marvin says, we should do something. We should storm the orphanage. Or I don't know. This doesn't sound good. We need to try to figure out what's going on.
Well, do you have any idea like where they might be going?
I have no idea. They go on these hiking trips, but then usually the kids would come back. Nobody really pays that much attention. If it's usually a huge group, so it's tough to count the kids. If one or two doesn't return, I guess nobody really noticed because nobody was looking. I don't know where they might have gone. Maybe there's some clue left in the orphanage, or maybe you can ask Quentin to bust down the doors with you and storm the place. This is serious stuff. You might want to get Mayor Flintgristle in on it too.
Yeah, we were thinking about that. We just don't have any proof at this point. Like, aside from, well, maybe this letter is, I guess, considered proof, but we don't have anything proof that they've done anything wrong aside from what is written in this letter, which, I mean, I don't know. It's sort of conjecture at this point. So we haven't seen anything. We just kind of know that there's weird stuff going on there. So I don't know, but do you think we should get him involved?
Well, at least maybe try asking Quentin and Sybil to assist you, because they're here for this particular reason. Maybe they can investigate the orphanage with you, and you can try to sneak in there and find a clue. Quentin is good at this stuff. He's an adventurer. He's good at, I don't know, sneaking into castles and finding clues and rescuing princesses. I mean, rescuing children's not that much different. One would assume.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. All right. Let me go. Let me finish eating and I'll talk with him.
I think we should break down the doors of the orphanage, and you should shoot your fire burst bolts all over the place, Lester, says Claudia. Just burn it down. It's obviously become a haven for devil children.
Yeah. For a minute, I thought you were going to say that I should shoot the orphanage guy. Yeah, the guy that runs this place.
Well, you can do that too. I don't particularly trust him, and we don't have much reason to assume he's up to any good. Seems to be manipulating the children, and you say he's got some magic at his fingertips, so I reckon it's time to take decisive action. And decisive action usually means violence. We can solve this like how we solved the case of the King's assassins by shooting bolts into a crowd of distracted noble people. In this case, they'll be countryside folk.
Well, actually, speaking of which, maybe this is a good time to invite Quentin over, since we're talking about inciting violence. So, and see what he has to think. Maybe he's still in a pugilistic mood this morning. So.
All right, so you're gonna call him over?
Yeah. See if he wants to eat with us.
All right, you call him over, and he meanders towards the table. Sybil comes too. He slams down a tankard of ale on the table. He's already started drinking. It's only about noontime. And he says, "Lester Fester, what's cooking?"
Hi, Quentin. So there's some bad shit going on.
All right, who we gotta fight? Who I gotta bash upside the head?
All right, so I'm gonna just give him a quick rundown of what happened last night. Show him like the note, and tell him a little bit about what our plans are for today, and let him know that there might be the opportunity for violence and bashing heads. Does he want in?
He reads over the note, and he's like, "Damn son of a bitch, this is crazy." Lester Fester, here's what we do. You, your chick, me, my chick, we're gonna go to the orphanage, we're gonna break some heads open, and I'm gonna wallop them 3 times each with my stick, and we're gonna get some answers. I'm gonna break down those doors if I have to. I'm ready to fight. I've been ready all night. Lester, you were up last night and you didn't want to fight with me. Lester Fester,
Yeah.
I thought we were in this together. What the hell, man?
All right. The last people we're gonna get actually is some of the people that were there last night. We're gonna get the wizards up.
All right. So, would you like to go upstairs and contact the wizards?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the wizards up because I think we may need some superior firepower, or at least something that the wizards can do that we can't do. So,
all right.
There.
So you're gonna go upstairs to the upper level of the Troglodyte's Toe. The wizards, you can still hear them snoring away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, my thing is still loading.
Okay.
All right. There you go. All right. Let's see. Knock on the door.
You can see Wander slumped over in bed with the pillows pulled tight over his head, and Giselle next to him, also sleeping tight and sound.
Okay. Knock on the door.
You might as well just bust in. No need to be polite. There's an emergency.
Emergency. All right. I don't hear a knock. Bust in. Be like, Wander, wakey, wakey, hands off the snakey, snakey. I'm just kidding.
Wander stumbles out of bed. He's like, Snakey, Snakey, where? I hate snakes, Lester. They give me nightmares. What's going on? What time is it? Was there something we were supposed to do this morning?
Yeah, we all overslept.
Oh shit, Lester! Lester, the plan is you were supposed to meet the little girl, and we were supposed to save the kids and kill the crazy man outside the orphanage. Balls! We're fucked up. Giselle, wake up! Giselle's like, what's going on? Wander's like, we got shit to do, woman. Wake up! Giselle mutters, positively barbaric. Stumbles out of bed. Trying to wash up.
Right.
Wander's hopping around trying to get his pants on.
Right. Yeah. I just I did debrief them really quickly and then show them the note.
Wander looks
Tell them about my standing up the little girl. No,
Wander's like, oh Jesus, Lester, you treat all women in your life this way. This is why Claudia was so mad at you the other night.
Yeah.
Well, Lester, this looks like some child endangerment type stuff. Me and Giselle, we need some time to prepare our spells for the day. We could use maybe like at least 20 minutes or so. If you and I suppose Giselle would need some time to get ready. If you want to go over to the orphanage, we can meet you there as soon as possible. This looks. We're gonna have to prepare the day's spells. If this is truly going to be a case of child endangerment, then I'd like to at least pack some magical weaponry, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to prepare the necessary spells of fireballs and death and violence raining down from the sky. There's nothing I like more than burning a good pedophile to a crisp. If we are talking about a pedophile.
Maybe.
Giselle washes her face.
What we're going to do is we're going to be downstairs getting ready. Yeah, we're going to be downstairs getting ready as well. I think we'll probably need to take some supplies with us in case we do have to go track the kids through the woods or something. So,
all right. Well, that sounds good, Lester. Where did I put my robes? God damn it, son of a bitch! He's bustling around.
Yeah.
Where did I put my staff?
If we're not downstairs, then we'll be at the orphanage. Okay.
All right. We'll find you, my boy Lester. Jesus Christ, stupid countryside doesn't have any alarm clocks. I hate this place. Mosquitoes fly in between your legs while you're taking a shit. It's uncomfortable. So I'm guessing you go back downstairs?
Yeah.
The wizards are getting ready. Alright, you go back downstairs. The breakfast is mostly over. You still got a couple more sausages on your plate that you can chow down if you want to. You're at full HP, so is Claudia.
Okay. I'm gonna actually talk with Marvin here to see if he can get us all maybe some sandwiches or some supplies or something that we can take with us. We'll take some of if there's any leftovers from the breakfast.
You do have a couple leftovers already, by the way. You have let's see, what do you have on you right now? Let me look at your character sheet. You have 3 sandwiches left over from the day before, by the way.
Okay. Well, maybe just some for everybody else. Then probably won't have any food.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to ask Marvin to prepare for you? Any particular supplies?
Water?
I mean, it's an inn. He can give you food, water, alcohol if you want it.
Yeah. Water, food would be fine.
All right. I'll have Marvin go behind the bar, and him and Mondo are going to cook up something for you real fast.
Okay. All right, Quentin. So here's the deal.
All right.
The wizards they're going to accompany us, and they're going to have some magical firepower ready. But it's going to take them a little bit of time, maybe 20 minutes or so to get ready. So,
All right.
what do you
So
say that we go over and scope out the orphanage?
that's what I was thinking, Lester Fester. You, me, and our ladies. Let's go and let's case the place out. And if there's a window, let's test it. And if it's possible to jump through the window and make an entrance, we can do that, or at least kick down the door.
Yeah.
All right. And then I'm gonna try to bust up some heads, and then you can save the children. All right. And then once the geezers come down with the magical nuclear weaponry, they can unleash hell and brimstone on the bad guys, and then we can fight them.
Yeah.
I just really want to fight.
Well, the other thing is that we also have to like at least observe a little bit to see what's going on, because if nothing seems weird, if it's just business as usual.
Well, also says Claudia, we if the kids aren't there, then obviously they're out on their hike. Maybe we can try to find some clues as to where they went. If they still are there, then I don't know. Maybe Quentin here can distract them with his boyish good looks, and maybe he can knock over like a vase or something with his staff and cause some collateral damage, and then you and me can go, look under some tables while those creepy guards are busy cleaning it up. And then maybe a Tits McGee over here can make herself useful as well. Sybil looks at Claudia and raises an eyebrow. Claudia's like, well, all right, are we ready to go then? I'm perfectly ready. I'm not hungover anymore. The grease from those eggs got me all riled up. Let's do this, Lester. Quentin's like, yeah. Gonna fight someone. Watcha! Hiya! Waha! He begins sauntering off. Oh, you going that way? All right, hold on. Comes out this way. Quentin has his staff with him, his three-piece collapsible staff. Sybil has a rapier with her, actually.
Okay.
And then you guys go out to... Oh, actually, wait, sorry. Marvin runs from the kitchen. He's like, wait a second. Hold on, guys. And then I'm going to say he delivers to you a packet of rations. He gives you 4 rations. They're like packets of food and drink. It can keep you sustained if you have to go out into the wilderness for at least an entire day.
Okay.
And that plus the sandwiches that you already have.
What's the weather like?
It's sunny. It's pretty good. Yeah.
It's not it's not like winter.
No. If it were winter, the map would have snow on it. It's a sunny autumn day. So, yeah. On your character sheet, I will just put 4 packets of rations. Good for surviving in the wilderness. Combined with the sandwiches, the rations will help you regain bits and pieces of your hit points if you lose them. You also have 2 healing potions from before, if you remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. As you leave, you can hear Tehran waving from behind the counter. He's like, "Good luck, sirs." And Quentin's like, "Oh, it's a good thing we didn't bring that one. He'd snap in a twig and frickin' get us all killed, most likely." Alright, so you guys are out in town now. Let me just bring Quentin and Sybil onto the screen. Alright, Quentin and Sybil are here with you. Where would you like to go? What would you like to do?
I think the first. Well, let's just go to the. Let's just go to the. I have half a mind to go talk to the. I don't know if it would be be terribly helpful. But let's just go to the orphanage and see what's going on there first.
Okay, sure. You guys wander over to the orphanage. It looks surprisingly empty compared to how it was previously. There don't appear to be any kids outside. The doors doesn't appear to be locked if you want to go inside.
Okay. Can we look through the windows? Any kids filling them out or staff members?
You can see that it appears to be mostly empty. Albertus, the guy in charge, is not through the window. You can't see him. You can see a few kids sitting in their dormitory rooms in the back, and you can see two of those mysterious guards keeping watch over them.
Okay. Is the little girl and her brother?
You can't see them at the moment.
No. Okay. Huh. Okay. Alright, so...
We're gonna do this, Lester Fester! Quentin's hopping up and down in front of the door. He looks like he wants to bust it open.
Well, we need a reason to go in. We don't need to just go busting in.
Well, we can ask some questions, Lester, says Claudia. We can figure out what's going on, maybe look for some clues at the very least.
That's true. We could also try sneaking in, too.
Alright, well, let's see, you look around, there's some windows in the back.
Because last night I was going to try to do this and got caught. So what about the area that I was going to try to get into last night?
Alright, there's one window there. Quentin pulls out his staff and says, "You want me to bash it open, Lester Fester? 'Cause I'll do it. I'll fight this window for you, man. I'll fight it so hard."
Is there when we look through the window, is there anything like are there any people in that room? That would sort of negate the point of it.
The window basically opens up into the back of the orphanage. You know, the area where that little girl Rosella was staying and you were talking with her?
Yeah. Is there anybody around though?
Not in that immediate area.
Okay. All right. Maybe if one person could try sneaking in there, I think, and trying to look for some clues, one or two people. Probably not everybody.
Lester, how are we gonna open it? Says Claudia. We don't got no glass cutters. Unless Quentin here bashes it open with his staff, or you shoot a bolt through it.
There's no way to open it from the outside?
No. You can break it.
Okay. Maybe then before we go ahead and do that, why don't we just try going in the front door then, just walking in the front door, but then have two people kind of break off, so like two people are distracting the anybody who comes by, and then other people can search for clues.
Yo, Lester, says Quentin, how about you and your chick go in the front door, and then me and my chick will stand back here, and then if you get into an altercation, I like that word, altercation, it just makes me want to fight. I'll break the window and I'll jump through and do a dive roll into the room, and then swing my staff around and crack some heads. Does that sound good? Watch out!
Not really. I mean, I don't know how you necessarily see where we are. All
right. You and your chick go in, and me and my chick will stand outside and distract anybody. And then if you need assistance, yell as loud as you can. Okay.
Okay.
Just yell out. I want to fight, and I'll come running.
Oh, God.
You've got some problems, mate, says Claudia.
All right, come on, Claudia.
Hey, Tits McGee, how you put up with this one? Sybil sighs and says, with great difficulty. Quentin's like, yo, Stop talking in your crazy womanly tongues about me. I'm ready to fight someone. All right, you gonna go inside?
Yeah, let's go inside.
All right, you go inside Aquaria Orphanage. All right, so right. Let me just put Quentin and Sybil on here. You can see the orphanage is relatively empty compared to how it was before. But you can see that two of those guards, or at least one guard's in front of you right now. You can't. The other one's not exactly in your field of vision at the moment. Quentin and Sybil are standing outside, right behind you, just in case things get hairy. All right.
Okay. All right. Go inside.
I'm just gonna input their HP because I gotta do that on every page. All right. All right, we get to switch to a new music thing. Hold up, let me, in case you want to play it yourself, here is the link to the music I'm using for this particular scene. Have to use it. Have to do it the hard way because the sound is borked on Roll20, unfortunately. All right. Yeah. All right. So you venture into the orphanage, and then you can only see one of these strange guardly figures in front of you, and he sees you guys come in and looks at you with mysterious eyes, and then walks up in front, almost as if he is trying to figure out why you're here, and says, "Excuse me, can I help you?"
Yes, we were actually hoping to talk with Master Albertus.
Master Albertus is not here at the moment. If I may take a message, perhaps?
Oh, that's awfully odd. We had an appointment for this time. Do you know if he'll be back soon?
I wasn't informed of any appointments. He is on a journey and expedition with the children, a hiking expedition.
I wonder why he told us. I wonder why he wanted us to stop by. Do you expect him to be back soon?
Usually these hiking expeditions last for quite some time. Well, he might be back in the late evening. If you wish to come back then, you'd be more than welcome to.
He said it was a matter of utmost importance, and he urged me not to be late. So I wonder, maybe he got confused about the day.
Interestingly enough, as you're talking, you see someone walk around from the corner, and it appears to be Mayor Flintgristle.
Mayor Flintgristle.
The guard in front of you says, "We're having a meeting with the mayor at the moment. If you would like to return, you're more than welcome to, but we really are quite busy."
Oh. Hey, Flintgristle, if you do happen to see the Master Albertus, would you mind telling him we stopped by? He did suggest that we stop by today at this time, and he said it was quite important, so a little surprised he isn't here.
Mayor Flintgristle nods and looks at you amicably. He doesn't say anything, though. And then the other guard says, "Yes, indeed, we will indeed notify the master of the orphanage about your presence here. What exactly are you intending to speak about with him, if I might ask?"
Well, actually, that's he didn't specify himself, but we had stopped by just yesterday, and we were here on a matter of, I guess you could call it great importance, and so he asked
Claudia,
us to stop by.
Claudia has wandered around through the house as you're talking with the guy up front, and she's looking at the mayor, and she's like, "Hey, weren't you sitting on the doorstep of your house outside when we walked past just a few minutes ago? How'd you get in here so fast?" And once again, the mayor doesn't say anything. It's very unusual.
Okay.
Claudia says, "This is a bit fishy. Can you tell us where we might find the kids? Like, maybe we want to join on their little hiking expedition, perhaps?" The guard once again reiterates that you can return in the evening when the master is back. We cannot disclose details of the children's excursion. It is a private matter. "Oh, private like what you're doing with these kids here, huh?" That's what Claudia says. How would you like to proceed?
Um, Actually, before we go, I'd like to speak to one person that we met yesterday. I was actually supposed to. I was hoping to talk with her earlier today, but uh, due to my own fault, I ended up missing being able to do that. So um, it's a little girl, actually.
Which little girl
Uh,
are you speaking of? Asks the guard.
well, you're gonna have to help me with the names because I only met them yesterday. But I think it started with an R.
You
Oh,
might. Which. You'll have to be more
no.
specific, sir. I'm sorry. Please. Name?
Rosalie, something like that. Does that ring a bell for you? She has a little brother here as well.
A little brother, and why might you be asking to speak with them? What was the
Uh, sh
manner of your meeting supposed to be this particular morning?
she was talking about her family, and I think she thought that I might have known her mother, which I don't think I do, but she was interested in speaking a little bit more. Similar backgrounds, I think, something like that.
I do believe Miss Rosella has gone out on the hiking expedition with the master, and if
Uh,
you want to reunite with her, you must come back this evening or perhaps tomorrow.
okay, all right.
Claudia says, "Well, can we leave her a message, perhaps, like a note or something? She left us a note this morning. Maybe you got some pen and paper that we can write on. It's an awfully fancy place. You must have something, maybe some parchment we can use." She starts walking towards the interior of the house. All right. Uh, as she walks past the mayor, Mayor Flintgristle suddenly turns around, pulls both of his hands up into the air, and swings them down right on the back of Claudia's neck, kind of like a gigantic
Oh,
clubbing motion down on the back of Claudia's neck as she walks past him. And it is a surprise attack because she's not expecting it, unfortunately. Alright, he rolls a 19. He pierces her armor class, which is only a 14, and he does damage against her. Alright, he does 1d6 plus 4 damage against her. He does 9 damage, and because it is a surprise attack, Claudia takes an extra 10 points of damage from the attack, unfortunately. So Claudia takes 19 points of damage in total. Oh, she is
like knocked out?
No, she's at -3 hit points right now, and you can see her bar went down. All right, and now suddenly, before you can react, the guard that you've been talking to, he actually closes the door behind you just with one swift motion. He just slams it shut, and now and cranks a bar on top of the door. And you are basically have been pushed inside. The door here is closed, and you are trapped in the interior of the orphanage along with these strange individuals. All right, you're going to have to roll initiative and engage them in combat, because it seems you are asking a few too many questions.
Can I yell at this point, or does that take up an extra action?
You can try yelling. I'll let you do it as a bonus action as soon as your turn starts. But there's the battle music if you want to play that. I just dropped a link in on the side. Yeah. All right. Now I just want you to roll initiative.
All right. That's a D20, right?
Yeah, just a D20 to see what the turn order is.
No, 4.
Okay, so you rolled a 4. Now, we were forgetting to do this before because my understanding of the rules of D&D is still in the maturation stage. But basically, what happens is when you roll initiative, you get to add your you get an initiative bonus. Okay, you add your dexterity modifier to whatever your initiative roll is. That makes sense because dexterity is how fast you are, and you would get to add that to the initiative. Yeah. So you have a dexterity modifier of +2, and if you look at your character sheet, you can see it. And so that makes a 6. All right. So you have initiative of 6. Yeah. We forgot to do that all last campaign, and probably made it a bit harder for.
That's okay. I mean, still probably don't make that much difference in this case.
Yeah. Let me.
Maybe. Certainly rolls like below that.
All right. Let me just add this initiative order. All right. You should be seeing do you see a thing on the side that says turn order?
Turn order, yeah.
Yeah, and so there you go. There's you, Lester LeFoe. I just added you. You are 6. All right. Let me roll for this guy that just closed the door. All right, let's see what he got. Oh, he gets a 14. He gets a 14, unfortunately. Might be going first. Alright, he gets a 14. Let me roll for the Mayor Flint Gristle. Up to no good mayor. Oh, he gets a 13. It's not looking very good. Let me roll for poor Claudia, who got haymakered. Claudia rolls a 5. Let's see, what is her initiative bonus? She gets a +4 to initiative. She gets a 9.
Then Quentin and those other guys, they're not technically in the fight yet?
Not yet. They're still outside. But because the door slammed so loudly, it seems that they'll be trying to open it, because it's very odd what just happened. All right. So, first thing that happens is that this guy next to you, he looks at you with hostile intent in his eyes, and it appears that the time for talking is over. He comes at you with his fists, just extremely aggressively, alright? And he makes 2 punching attacks at you with his fists. Let's just see if they hit. The first one, he rolled a 2, and so that one misses the front of your face. Alright, doesn't pierce your armor class. Let's see what the second one gets. The second one, he rolls an 8. Alright, very good. So both attacks actually miss. Alright, both of his haymakers miss. You dart backwards and avoid them. Alright, next it's the Flint Gristle's turn. It's not looking good for poor Claudia. Mayor Flint Gristle's standing above her, alright? He's going to try to place his boot on top of the poor girl that he just smacked in the back of the neck. Alright, he rolls a 13, and so his boot crushes down on her, but it's actually not enough to pierce her armor of 14, so it doesn't do any damage. Alright? And Flint Gristle is going to try to kick her again, and he only rolls an 8. Alright, so both of these guys rolled very poorly in the beginning rounds, but Claudia is kneeling over on the ground, keeled over, and it's her turn next. And she's moaning, she's like, "Oh my god, my neck! Oh, what's going on, you dirty bastard of a Flint Gristle! Oh, I'll get you for that!" And so she manages to turn around. She's only got 3 hit points. She is going to, let's see what she's going to do. She's in a bit of a tight spot. So, let's see.
She's looking for weapons now.
Yeah, she's got her staff of vines. She's gonna smack Flint Gristle with her staff of vines. All right. And let's see if it hits. She rolled a 13. Yeah, unfortunately, that does not pierce Freddy Flint Gristle's armor class rating, unfortunately. These guys have fairly high armor. She's going to try to do a bonus action, see if Hubert the Lamb will pop out of the bag of holding and come to her rescue. Come on, Hubert. Oh, she rolled a 19.
19.
Yeah, so she needs to roll over an 11 for Hubert to pop out. So Hubert pops out of the bag of holding, and he does, let's see, he does 1d10 of damage. He does 8 points of damage. Hubert pops out of the bag of holding, makes a "ma" sound, and then bites Mayor Flint Gristle right on the schnoz. And you hear a vague groaning sound. Ooh! The interesting thing is, it sounds vaguely otherworldly. It doesn't sound like the country bumpkin voice of Mayor Flint Gristle at all. And as Hubert clamps down on Mayor Flint Gristle's schnoz and just twists him back and forth, piercing his little lamb teeth into the nose of this strange man, Mayor Flint Gristle's body starts to change, and it is the most bizarre thing you've ever seen in your life. His whole physical form starts to alternate and starts to meld in on itself and melt away. And the entire facade of the beefy, chunky mayor that you saw is gone and is replaced with this strange creature here. Alright. It is a strange looking, almost faceless, featureless humanoid. And you vaguely remember something that Wander the Wizard told you last night about these mysterious guards. Do you remember what he told you?
Oh yeah, that they were cold. They seemed sort of ghost-like, otherworldly.
Yeah.
I think.
And so the strange figure in front of you certainly appears ghost-like. But it's solid, but it certainly appears cold and otherworldly and mysterious looking. Alright. Yeah. So now it is your turn. Sorry? What'd you say?
One of those Batman stories with Clayface.
Yeah, a little bit like Clayface. The way it melded and changed its form was very similar to Clayface. Alright, now it's your turn.
Okay.
Claudia is down on the ground, wheezing, only at 3 points of health. I will say that as you prepare to for your upcoming action, you hear the sounds of the door rattling from outside. Okay? And you hear a vague sound of, "What the hell?" Open the door! We're trying to get in! Lester Fester, are you in trouble? I'm gonna kick this door down! And you hear a banging sound, and then you hear a boom! Almost as if Quentin ran up to the door and tried to bash it with his shoulder. And then you hear a, ow! God, that hurts! Almost as if the door hit back and he fell on his butt on the ground. Quentin and Sybil are not yet in the fight, but it's your turn.
I don't have any weapons in my hand, right?
Yes, you do. You walked out with your with all your standard weapons, with your sword, your mace, and your crossbow. Okay.
But nothing's actually physically in my hand right now, right? I would have to equip it.
I mean, you can put it in as you can put it in when like if you decide to make an attack. You only need to like take a full turn switching weapons if you are already holding one weapon and then you put it away and specifically pull out another one in the midst of battle. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're just whipping out a weapon to do an attack, then yeah.
Okay. All right.
So look at your character sheet and decide how you want to proceed.
Okay. I have a mace.
You do have a mace, yes.
I'm gonna pull out the mace.
Alright,
Yeah,
so
pull out the mace.
you're gonna attack with the mace.
Yeah. So I'm gonna attack the guy who swung at me. If I do two things, does that count as one? Like if I do a feint and then like and then I do another attack, does that count as two moves or is that one?
Well, you'd only be able to do one attack with the mace. Alright. What you can do if you want to is you can use your insightful fighting ability. You can try to do this. Remember this? In combat, Lester can decipher an opponent's tactics and try to counter them. As a bonus action, you can make a wisdom check against any creature contested against that target's charisma check. If you succeed, you have a special sneak attack feature. You can use your sneak attack on that target even if you don't have advantage. You don't have advantage in this particular instance because you did not surprise them. They surprised you. But I would try to use your insightful fighting ability to do a little bit of extra damage in the end. That's essentially like a double attack. Yeah. So what you do now is you roll a d20, and then you're going to add your okay, you rolled an 8, and then you have a insight modifier of 4. All right. And so, sorry, you have a, sorry, I rolled that by accident, but, so you have an insight modifier plus 4, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, in total that's a 12, alright? And now your ability matches the charisma of this creature, and unfortunately it's not quite high enough to defeat that creature, and so you don't get your sneak attack damage, unfortunately. You do get a regular attack, though. Yeah, so you can try to make your regular attack against this strange entity. So here's something I learned, Josh. If you wanted, so for attacking, do you have your character sheet open right now?
Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, just keep it open and move it to the side. Because what you can do is you see the different options. Mace. Just try clicking on the word mace right there in your attacks and spellcasting.
Okay.
Yeah, see, it automatically rolls for you. Okay, it rolls the d20 attack for you. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So you just do it once. So that's your d20 roll. It does it automatically for you. Okay. And so the first one, I'm just gonna take the first one for you. You rolled an 18 the first time. All right. That is enough to break the enemy's armor class rating, so you get your hit in. And now what you do, you see the little chat window on the side? Click the word mace in the little chat window on the right hand side. Then it rolls your attack damage for you automatically. You see? You don't actually have to choose the dice anymore. All the values are are inputted in on your character sheet. Yeah. So it rolls it automatically for you. So all you need to do from now on is click the name of the attack that you want to use. It'll automatically do the roll to determine if it hits or not. And then just go to the right, click the name of the specific attack. It automatically does the damage roll for you. Just speeds things up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that does 9 points of damage. Alright? Does 9 points of damage. So you smash your mace with no mercy whatsoever into the side of this guy's face, actually. And as you do it, it is like Clayface in Batman, like the skin actually moves along with the momentum from the mace, and the guy transforms into another one of these strange cold creatures similar to his compadre over here. Okay.
Can I yell out something to Quentin as the bonus action?
You technically already used your bonus action on your when you try to do your insightful fighting thing. But I mean, it's just yelling. You can I'll let you retroactively yell it out as you've tossed your mace down. It's just yelling.
Okay. Let's yell out, Quentin! We're in trouble! We need to be fighting. Do you want to do some fighting? Help us out. Figure out a way in.
You hear the vague sounds of scuffling as Quentin frantically smacks his shoulder against the door, and you can hear him screaming out, "Hold on, Lester Fester, I'm coming! I'm gonna bash some heads in! Don't get your head bashed before me!" And more punching at the door. Let me actually see if they managed to punch it down. Oh, poor Quentin rolled a 1. The door punches back. Quentin falls backwards on his buttocks. Let me see if Sybil manages to kick open the door. Oh, very good, actually. Sybil rolled a 13. So you hear the sound of a loud bang, and you assume that Sybil just smacked her boot heel solely into the door, because the door frame just breaks apart, and your two friends bust in from outside. Alright. Poor Quentin has to scramble up from the ground, but Sybil is already there with her rapier out, looking quite radiant. Let me just roll initiative for these guys and add them to the queue. I'll roll for Sybil first, because she was a bit cooler, knocking on the door. Sybil rolled a 13. Alright. So she actually rolled the same as one of these mysterious creatures, and when you roll the same initiative as an enemy, the player characters assisting you get to go first. Alright, now I'll roll for Quentin. Let's see what his initiative is. Quentin rolled a 6. So actually the same as you! It's up to you. We can go in alphabetical order, or if you want to, you can go after him. You can defer your turn to him. It depends. You guys can work in tandem as a team. It's quite funny.
This was fun.
Alright, so I'm just adding him to the queue. Alright, everybody is queued up and ready to go. Okay. So now we go to the full-fledged combat. Alright, the next one up is the doppelganger. We're just going to call it that from now on. The doppelganger creature standing in front of you. This doppelganger creature is going to, once again, come at you with its attacks. First attack is a 17. That will hit. Next attack is an 11. That does not pierce your armor of 14, so that will not hit. So let's roll damage for these 17. Alright, it's going to do 1d6 plus 4 bludgeoning damage against you. So it does 8 points of damage. You reel backwards as the doppelganger creature just pummels into your stomach with a fist. Just boom! Punches you in the gut. You're at 23 hit points now. Okay? Next up in the queue is actually Sybil, alright? Sybil will roll next, and she gets to go next. So let me see what Sybil will do. Let me just look at her stats. All right, Sybil Starr. All right, so Sybil Starr sees the chaotic scene in front of her, and she actually sees Claudia keeled over on the ground, about to pass out. And in the goodness of her heart, Tits McGee is going to try to do the charitous action of running over to try to assist poor Claudia. All right. So as she runs past this doppelganger in front of you, he gets an attack of opportunity on her. Let me see if it hits. And it goes completely by her head, thankfully. And then she runs over to poor Claudia here. Alright. She pulls out a small potion from her back pocket, and it's a glowing red potion. And then she forces it down Claudia's throat. And you hear as Claudia chokes on the liquid. But it's actually a healing potion. Alright. Let me just see how much a healing potion will heal Claudia for. A healing potion will... Potion of healing. A healing potion will heal Claudia for 2d4 plus 2 hit points. Alright, let's see how much that gives her back. 2d4 plus 2. Alright, Claudia gains back 7 hit points from the healing potion. So Claudia is no longer at 3 HP, she's at 10 HP, alright? And Sybil used up all of her movement and all of her actions to get over here, and she's engaged with this doppelganger in front of Claudia, alright? Now it is that doppelganger's turn. Alright, the doppelganger, seeing the new entry into the combat, is going to try to attack Sybil. And both of its attacks miss, thankfully. Alright, now we are at Claudia Copperhoof. Claudia Copperhoof is going to try to have her revenge against this guy that did so much damage against her. And she unfortunately rolled a 4, so it's very low rolls this time. Alright, then, so she can't really do anything. Let's see if Hubert the Lamb pops out of the bag of holding to do some damage. Ah, she rolled a 15. Hubert gets to pop out and do an attack. Alright. Hubert pops out and bites this otherworldly creature for 6 points of damage. Bites him once again on the schnoz. Alright, finally it's Quentin's turn. Alright. So Quentin here with his staff, and then he's gonna lunge into action right up next to you. So you got the boys fighting one guy and the girls fighting another. It's just very iconic. Alright. Quentin whips out his 3-piece staff, and you can see a glow in his eyes as if he's waited his entire life for this moment. He looks over to you and he's like, Lester Fester, I'm gonna kick this thing's ass so hard it's gonna end up in Tartec. So he has an ability called Tri-Staff Strike, where he gets to hit 3 times at once with the 3 different pieces of his 3-piece collapsible staff. Alright, let us see if it... Let me see. Okay, so the first hit, unfortunately, is not going to be enough to pierce the enemy's armor class. The second hit will be enough, and let's see what the third hit is. Alright, so unfortunately, only one of Quentin's attacks will actually hit. Alright, but let's see what the damage is on it. Alright, he does 11 points of bludgeoning damage. Alright, and so you can see him spinning around with his staff, just wah-cha! Hoya! Wah! And unfortunately he spins it around too eagerly, and 2 of the attacks miss, but one solidly connects with the top of the creature's skull and does 11 points of damage. Alright, and then so what Quentin can do at the end of each of his attacks, he can try to knock the enemy prone. You can try to knock it down so that on its next turn it has to spend an entire action standing up. Alright, and so the enemy has to basically succeed on a dexterity saving throw, and unfortunately, yeah, it makes it. It does not get knocked prone, but now it is your turn. And you're with Quentin, right up in the middle of the fight.
Okay.
So you currently have your mace out. Now, if you want to switch to another weapon, that will take up an entire turn.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, you can just throw your mace down on the ground and you pull out another weapon. That's how you can get around it if you want.
I can't dual weld, right?
No, not yet. Later on, you can take what's called a feat to dual wield.
Okay.
But you need to be level 6 to do that.
Okay. Alright, well I'll just do my attack again. Maybe I can do, can I aim for like the legs at this point? Let's see if I can get the guy down on the ground.
You can try to. I mean, it's a strange creature that you haven't particularly faced before. So you can try to aim for a specific body part, but you don't know if it'll react like a normal human would.
Yeah, okay.
I recommend trying to do your. I recommend just trying to do your insightful fighting thing again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that again.
Oh, and so another thing, Josh, another thing you haven't been using. If you look at your sheet, you have this ability called Uncanny Dodge.
Oh, yeah.
When an attacker that Lester can see hits him with an attack, Lester can use his reaction to halve the attack's damage.
Huh.
Actually, Claudia hasn't been using it. I think Claudia has that. Does Claudia have that? Claudia has that as well. She hasn't been using it. She needs to start using it.
Do I have to say that at the time?
Well, yeah. You just if you get hit with an attack, you need to tell me that you want to use it. Yeah.
Oh, uncanny dodge. Okay.
Yeah. Just keep it in mind. You have more options available now. You don't necessarily always need to attack. You can try to strategize a little bit.
All right. Well, I will attack this time. Let me see. I've used the insightful fighting.
Okay. You roll a d20. Oh, a natural 20. Excellent. All right. So plus your insight modifier, that is a 24. Okay. Now the creature is going to. It has to make a check of its own. It has to try to beat that. I don't think it will. All right. It rolled 12. It doesn't beat that. So yes, you do. You have figured out its tactics and how it moves to a certain extent. You can use your sneak attack damage at the end of your attack to do extra points of damage to let's say it's kneecaps. You're gonna try to bust out a kneecap.
Okay.
All right. So now, if you want to attack with your mace, so remember you can just click on the name of the name of the weapon, and it'll automatically do the rolls for you. Excellent. You rolled a 21. Wow. That's really good.
Wait, 21. Oh, because of it added.
Yeah, because of the +5, it automatically adds the modifiers to it, so you don't have to do any math. It's so nice. No need to do no maths. All right. So you rolled 21. That is absolutely going to break through this thing's armor class. Now click the name of the mace in the right chat column, and it'll automatically do the damage. All right, 3 points of damage, which is not great, but you get to do an extra 2d6 damage to the creature. So that you'll have to input by yourself. Roll 2d6. Eight. So 8, 9, 10, 11. In total, 11 points of damage. So the first attack with the mace smacked it against the creature's chest, and the second attack got a little bit of extra damage in, bashed its kneecap. Now, the nice thing about this insightful fighting ability is that this benefit lasts for 1 minute. You can continue doing that extra sneak attack damage for a minute, and each round of combat is 6 seconds, so this can last on for, quite some time.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can always roll that extra damage now. Now, do you want to do anything? You haven't used any movement at all. If you want to, you can try to move around the room, or you can just stay where you are.
I'll move over to this side, out of range of Quentin's. I don't know if there's friendly fire here. I can't remember.
There's not friendly fire.
Range of...
Yeah, you'll be okay.
Okay.
All right,
But
so yeah.
closer to the other one too.
Okay, so you're just
Yeah,
kind of
double.
you're just strafing around
Sure.
the enemy basically. Okay, it doesn't get an attack of opportunity on you because you haven't left its sphere of influence, so to speak. You're just strafing around it. Yeah. All right, so now. All right, now finally it's back to the top with this guy. All right, this guy who's next to you, this guy is going to try to come at you with kind of like a bear hug. He's going to try to grapple you. All right. Unfortunately, this creature is not particularly strong. All right, it tries to come at you with both arms and grapple you, but you skip out of the way. All right, and its hands just slide past you. And now it's stuck in between you and Quentin. That's basically all it's going to do at this particular moment. Let's go over to Sybil. What's Sybil up to on the side here? Sybil's going to turn to face her opponent, and with her rapier, she is going to make some stabbing attacks. Alright. Sybil will attack with her rapier and try to do piercing damage against the creature. She only rolled a 7, unfortunately. And so she just pokes the creature with her rapier, but doesn't do any damage, sadly. Alright. So then Sybil is going to disengage herself from the creature. She is able to do that as a bonus action. Alright. So she's going to disengage backwards, and so when you disengage from someone, it doesn't get an attack of opportunity from you. So she disengages and then jumps on the bed here and prepares herself for future attacks. Alright, this creature is going to come at her now. So Sybil does Claudia a favor and brings the creature away from her. So the creature stomps over towards Sybil and tries to throw haymakers at her on the bed. First one does not hit, and second one does not hit. Very good. Sybil has a high armor class of 15, so I rolled a 10 and a 12. Alright. Now, it is Claudia's turn. Claudia, let's see. Claudia is low on health. Claudia is low on health and her attacks are not connecting very well, unfortunately. Hubert the Cowardly Lamb stays in the bag of holding and does not come out. Let's see if she can attack this thing with her Staff of Vines. She rolls a 13. Rolls 13, so that's going to be a plus. Oh, actually, I haven't been adding this up quite well. I forgot to add in modifiers when you roll initiative, so actually I think I made it harder for you guys, but it's okay. Oh yeah, I've been making it harder for you guys. I'm sorry. Sorry, Josh. It's okay. Yeah, I forgot. I'm forgetting to add in modifiers. We'll fix that at the top of the round. Claudia's next attack will connect. I always forget to do this whenever we have fighting scenes in this campaign because we don't have too many of them. All right, so her next attack will hit 13 plus. Yeah, her next attack will hit, and we will do damage now. Alright, so Claudia is finally going to do damage with her Staff of Vines. She hits the doppelganger creature right next to her, and she yells out that elvish word, Evrash, as she does it, and then vines pop up from the ground and then restrain the creature. Alright, the creature cannot move. Alright, so finally she gets an attack here. Next up, it's Quentin's turn. Quentin is going to try to attack this guy standing next to him again. Let's see what he got. So his first attack is a 14 that will hit. Next attack is going to be a 14 that will also hit. And then finally, his final attack will be a 10. That one misses. So he is now going to do damage. Alright, Quentin does 13 points of damage in total. Alright. Just walloping this thing with his staff. Alright, so the thing has minus 13 HP, and then it is finally back to you, Lester LeFoe. So one enemy is currently restrained, and the other one is right next to you, sandwiched between you and Quentin.
Is there any sign of damage or weakening in the?
Yes, so both entities look significantly more battered than when you first started. They're still standing though. They're very sturdy. They're very sturdy creatures.
Okay. Well, I'll use my insightful.
You don't have to. You've got that. You still got that. Yeah. That lasts for 1 minute.
Enough time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because every round's only 6 seconds. This is all happening very fast, technically speaking.
There we go. 25.
Okay, yeah, awesome. That will most definitely hit. Now, you can roll your damage by clicking on that. Alright, so...
I don't know if 3? Should you roll hit it again?
Yeah, click mace again.
9 plus 4.
9 plus 4. All right, we'll do 9 plus 4. That's 13 points of damage. It does 13 points of damage against the creature, and once again, you get to add that 2d6 extra damage. Roll for that. Two d6. All right.
5.
Yeah, that's a 12. Alright, so you lunge at the creature and get in your attacks. And so, Joshua, so from now on, I'm going to ask you a question when you basically get a final attack in on an enemy, which is what you just did right now. And my question is, how would you like to finish off this opponent? Describe what you do. Yeah, well, describe what you do to me. This is a final attack. Actually, you did enough damage to bring its HP to 0. Now you get to describe what your final attack is to me.
Okay.
Yeah, how would you like to do this, basically?
Like I described the actual technique I use or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Well...
how would you like to do this? Because in the past, I've been describing it for you, but I think it's more fun and adds more flavor if you described it for me.
Okay, well, Lester lunges forward and does an overhand strike to the top of the doppelganger's cranium and cleaves it in two.
Alright, so Lester LeFoe does a little bit of dancing with his feet and then does the aforementioned overhead strike onto the cranium of the beast. And you hear a gigantic cracking sound as your mace comes down, almost as if you've cracked its entire skull. And then imagine like one of those old like Looney Tunes cartoons where like Roadrunner like causes the coyote to like hit his head on something and cracks appear all over the body. That is kind of like what happens now with the doppelganger. Cracks appear all over the thing's body, and then it shatters. It just shatters apart like glass and then falls down on the ground in clumps of what almost look like mud. Alright, so one is out of the fight. Next up, it is Sybil's turn. Alright? Alright, so Sybil is over here. Sybil will attack her opponent with her rapier once more. Fortunately, it does not pierce the opponent's very high armor class rating, unfortunately. So Sybil once again disengages and then jumps backwards and is using her. She's trying to lead the opponent across the room and kind of like kite it away from you guys. So she would be basically like up against the wall here right now, and she's moving over in this direction and trying to attract the beast's attention. She jumps on top of the table here and rattles her saber at it. And so this thing right now, it's going to try to break free of the vines that are encircling it. All right. So it needs to succeed on a 13 dexterity saving Constitution throw. Let's see what it does in order to break free. It does not manage to break free. It is still restrained. Alright, it can't really do anything. Claudia Copperhoof is now going to attack it for revenge. Yeah, 21. Yeah, ignore the 1. Yeah, okay, so Claudia's attack will hit with the Staff of Vines. Let's do damage. Claudia does 9 points of damage. Alright, and then Claudia, let's see if Hubert, the stupid lamb, will come out and do a little bit of extra damage. Maybe? Yes? No? I rolled 7. Hubert stays in the bag of holding, so Claudia does 9 points of damage in total to the thing. Alright, and you can hear the thing start to wheeze from underneath all of those vines. Quentin looks a little bit pissed off that you got the final attack in on this doppelganger, and so he jumps up on the table in here and decides to use his staff to smack the crap out of the poor thing under the vines. Alright. Once again, he will do his 3 strikes. Let's see if they attack. First one will hit. Second one will not hit. Third one will not hit. Only one attack pierces the thing's armor class, and so Quentin does 11 points of bludgeoning damage to the beast. All right. Finally, it is up to you again, Lester LeFoe.
Okay. All right.
The thing is looking quite weak right now.
And
you gotta. You're too far away. You want to move closer? I'm assuming you move closer, or.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You use your movement to move closer. All right. Stuck under the vines right now. Can't get out. So yeah, you see. Yeah. Okay. So 15, and so I guess yeah, you do 5 points of damage on the thing. You do your extra sneak attack damage, 2d6.
Yeah.
11. Very good. Joshua, once again, how do you want to do this?
Lester does a leans forward and basically steps forward and does a sideways kind of like chopping strike to the creature and hits him in the neck.
Excellent. So Lester does his sidestep and then just grinds his mace down into the creature's neck, and you can see the strange bluish flesh almost come apart as the mace slices through it like putty. And then once again cracks appear from the point of impact and stretch out all over the creature's body, and then the thing once again disintegrates and collapses into a bundle of shards on the ground. Just a gigantic mess. Alright, so you have defeated these strange, mysterious creatures. And Quentin looks at you and wipes off some sweat from his forehead, and he's like, "Damn, Lester! It's pretty good fighting. We should have gone at it last night." Meanwhile, Claudia is breathing heavily, and she turns to you, she's like, "Lester, I almost died. I almost got assassinated by a fat mayor man."
Why don't I'm gonna give her a, I should give her some food. I think. Or actually, let me just double check. All right. I think I have food and I have at least one potion. Okay? Oh, I have 2 healing potions. Yeah. So I think I'll give her a healing potion.
Okay, you're gonna give her a healing potion?
Yeah, I'll give her a healing potion.
Alright, I'm just marking down on Claudia's sheet that she used up one of her staff of vine attacks for the day, or one of her staff of vines attacks for the day, entangling attacks. Okay. She gets to do that 3 times a day. So you're gonna give her 1 healing potion?
Yeah, I got 2. Sorry, I just changed it to 1.
Okay. So that does 2d4 plus 2 healing. Let's see. See how much she gains back. She gains 8 points of HP back. She's at 18 now. She's like, "Thank you, Lester. Oh, what a horrific experience. Just walking through here and then this chubby wannabe mayor who turned out to be one of these strange things just assaults me. What did I do to it?" And then Sybil turns towards Claudia and says, "Are you alright?" And then Claudia says, "And I got Tits McGee to thank for resuscitating me. This is extremely humiliating, Lester. Thank you, I suppose. I'll stop calling you Tits McGee now. Thank you, Sybil. That was awful nice of you." Sybil smiles and pats Claudia on the shoulder. Meanwhile, Quentin is looking at the corpses of these strange things. Alright, let me show you what they look like since you defeated them. Alright, you see them?
Not yet, but I can read the description.
Oh. Yeah, this should be loading for you soon.
Okay.
Yeah. This appears to be the true form of the weird guards that Albertus brought with him to Aquaria. They seem to be the byproducts of black magic. Artificial humans who can change their shape at will. Wander told me he once heard about creations like this inhabiting a castle in the desert and serving an evil magician who wore black armor. So yes, Wander did mention that to you last episode.
That's right.
Perhaps a reference to...
Read more about that in the 13th
You can read more about that in the 13th Hour. Quentin is poking at the things. It's like, what are these things? I've never seen these before. On all my travels, I've never seen things like these before. Damn, you did a pretty good job of bashing them up, Lester Fester. Real nice work. Good technique. Pretty good. Lester, you should hit me with that mace sometime, and I'll hit you back with my staff. As you guys are examining the bodies of these creatures, you hear sounds from outside, and then it is none other than the wizards who have shown up fashionably late. And so they enter into the orphanage, and they look at the mess on the ground, the vines covering the remains of this creature here, and then this dead pile over here, and then they look at you stunned, and Wander's like, what happened? What's going on here?
You missed the fun.
What are these things? Says Giselle. She's taking a closer look at them.
These are the things that we saw last night, Wander. Maybe you can... This is their So when we hit them, they lost their, I guess, human forms and became these things. And then when we finally defeated them, they kind of just exploded into these bits that you now see on the floor. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
And one of them was dressed up as the mayor, Claudia says. He tried to attack me, a poor defenseless little girl. Wander's examining the corpses of the mysterious beast and says, well, they look like some kind of artificial golems, I suppose you would call them. Almost like they've been made out of clay or made out of stone or maybe human flesh. I heard some black magic was capable of doing this. You can chop off a fingernail or a bit of your skin, and if you have the right combination of other ingredients and you have powerful magic at your disposal, you can create sort of an artificial construct like this. But God, to imagine that something like this is in the middle of nowhere. This is incredible. A great scientific find. This is the equivalent of bootleg bootleg weaponry ending up in the hands of idiots in the middle of the countryside. I suppose it's very apt. It's exactly what's happening to us right now. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's use this opportunity to search this place. It seems to be, there might be actually a few kids lying around here. Let's see what we can find.
So you guys can disperse and start searching. Go ahead.
I think the first thing is, where's Albertus's office? Is it like up here or something?
Albertus's office appears to be up there. Yes, right here.
Yeah, let's go in there and start searching, and maybe have Claudia search like these rooms over here, like, and then have Quentin and and maybe the others start to search these rooms down here.
Okay.
Like, to see if there's any kids, if there's any like stuff that turns up.
So the wizards are a bit too fascinated with the corpses of the otherworldly magical beings, and so they're busy taking notes. But Claudia and Sybil go down to start searching, and Quentin is wandering around, looking at the fine upholstery and murmuring to himself, well, it looks a lot better than when I was here. Meanwhile, you are inside Albertus's office, and a quick search does not reveal anything particularly incriminating, but you do find scraps of paper. You do find an old copy of J. Alsworth's map with lines written on it, almost as if a route was traced on the map, and it appears to be leading into the nearby forests south. Towards the border of the wildlands. Alright, and you find like a circle etched onto the map near the border area. It seems to be possibly a clue as to where he might have taken the children.
Yeah, let's take that map.
Mm-hmm. You see a lot of kind of chicken scratch handwriting around the markings on the map. You find a lot of references to something that you've never heard of before, something called a fairy circle.
Okay. Anything else of note in the office?
Nothing else is of particular note. There is a chest in the office, and when you open the chest, you can find several gold pieces and several gemstones. Altogether, the wealth inside this little chest is considerable. It would add up to maybe about 1,000 gold.
Okay. I just leave it there for now.
Okay.
It
looks like, because you remember that this guy, Albertus, he made his fortune in the mines up north. It looks like the gemstones might have been something that he dug up then.
Yeah. We'll leave it there for now. Let me go find Quentin. Show him the map since he grew up around this area. Hey Quentin, do you know, like, I found this map in Albertus's office. Do you know where, do you think that this might be a clue? Could you follow this and lead us to this particular place marked on the map?
Quentin looks it over and says, "Well, it looks like he's going south, almost to the border, kind of near the wildlands. Yeah, I could probably follow this. I mean, it's not exactly drawn to scale. All of J. Ellsworth's maps, like, it usually takes a little bit longer to get to where you're going if you follow one of these. But yeah, I think I know where it leads. It's just to a forested area. I'm not sure why he would be taking the kids there. I mean, I guess if it is a hike, then it's a good cover, but I'm not sure what else is in that area except for trees."
Do you think it's reasonable to be able to get there in a day? Like, does that seem like a feasible thing to like walk a bunch of kids to?
Probably,
A couple
yeah,
hours?
yeah, probably about 2 hours.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. What's well, I don't. Why does it keep saying fairy circle on this? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it is either. I have no idea. Maybe we can ask the wizards. Actually, they might know what that is. So why don't I ask them? Hey guys, do you know what a fairy circle is?
A fairy circle, says Wanda, turning over to Lester. Lester, are you interested in those fancy clubs down in Tartec Low Town where, you know, they engage in a little bit of the LSD and then see fairies flying around?
No, it's referenced in this map here.
Oh, let me see
Do you
that,
know what
says
this?
Giselle, and Giselle looks it over and then flips out one of her books in her pack and then scans and says, I've seen this before. We were looking at this the other night, Wanda. Fairy circles, right here. And she flips open the book to a page and then she shoves it in your face. Here. You should see this now.
Fairy circles are
Yeah. Fairy circles
Teleportation
are
device.
teleportation devices infused with ancient magic. Nobody knows where they came from, but the legends say that the celestial creators of this world, whoever they might be, once used them to instantly teleport from location to location. Only a handful of fairy circles exist in the world today, as most were destroyed in wars, and others simply fell into disrepair as the spells holding them together wore off. The greatest sorcerers in the magic community regularly keep a tally of the remaining fairy circles in existence, but knowledge on how to use them is a fiercely guarded secret known only by a handful of members in the World Wizards Association. Using a fairy circle is also a process rife with danger, as few people actually know where jumping into an active circle will take you. They say that the elves in the fairy chateau down south have access to a fairy circle, but those folk keep to themselves.
Huh.
Lester, says Giselle, this is quite a scientific and magical find. If that piece of parchment that you've uncovered says fairy circle on there, it could be that this man is taking the children to this. In which case, that's truly interesting. We've never heard of a fairy circle in the Aquarian region before. That would be truly a find for the scientific and magical community.
Do you know how to use a fairy circle?
Well, I haven't the
Do you
foggiest,
guys?
said Wanda. I'm not a member of the elitist group of mages that knows about these things. Giselle also shakes her head. You would require some sort of teleportation magic and some highly arcane spells. If this Albertus character actually knows how to use one, then he's a more powerful magic user than we anticipated.
Okay. Well, that seems to be what's indicated on the map, and that may have been where the kids have gone. So I guess that may be our next stop. Let's see if there's anything else that we can find up here.
You hear Claudia shout from down the hall. She's like, Lester, there's some kids left over here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You can see a group of children down below. So you guys all go over. The wizards follow as well. And the kids are once again looking at you, glassy-eyed and almost not there. And they're just sitting in their chairs, not making any movements.
Knock on this door here. Hello, did you hear all the commotion? All the fighting?
The kid looks at you and just shakes his head dully. Claudia says, "This is what we were talking about. The children are all strange. They've all gone brain dead." And the wizards go down here as well, and then they start examining the children. Wander looks at the kid in front of you and then stares down his nose into the boy's eyes and then says, "Lester, these kids are under a spell. This is some kind of a compulsion spell. They've essentially been, not exactly mind-wiped, but they've been made to believe that all is good and well, and they've been psychologically brainwashed in a way to ignore strange events going on around them. You said that everyone in the orphanage was like this?"
Everyone except for two. Brother and sister. That was the little girl that we were supposed to meet this morning. She wasn't like this. She had a brain.
Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea why she wasn't like this? Did she get away at a particular time? Did she have some kind of magical device protecting her from this?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. The only thing that was of note is her brother had one of those fancy robots by that gear tinker fellow.
Oh, Lester, we should check out to see if Alexander's room has still got it.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
a good idea.
So Claudia goes up and starts looking into Alexander's room and rummaging through his things. You do not see the gear tinker toy.
Okay.
It appears.
Let's go search the sister's room.
All right, you can go search the sister's room. It's up north. It's in the back of the house. Yeah, it's where that window. If you had let Quentin bash open the window here, it would have opened in the back.
Yeah.
All right.
Search.
So,
I think it's this one, right? It's a good one.
yeah. So the rest of your friends follow you up here. It's actually this one down here. The room that you're in is the kitchen. Yeah.
Okay. Anything of note in here?
Yeah, you rummage around in the room, and you can see that it appears that the Rosella was one of the children that left this morning. Presumably her brother was also taken on this hiking trip. The only thing that you see is, strangely enough, you remember when you first met Rosella, she was, do you remember she was holding a helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rosella was seen cradling the helmet of her dead mother, Valenice, who was a former Tartec soldier who had some knowledge of magic at her disposal. Right, you see the helmet lying on the side of the bed. It appears that, in her hurry, Rosella was not able to take it with her. And Wander picks it up and says, "Lester, did the little girl say anything about this helmet and where she got it from?"
Not really. She said it was from her mother.
From her mother, yes.
Deceased.
Well, Lester, this thing's got it's got faint traces of magic on it, almost as if it was like part of a blessed set of armor that her mother wore. Was her mother an adventurer or a guard or a member of the Tartec police force?
She said her mother was a soldier, but then resettled here to kind of, I don't know if she was a mercenary, but started to did something like that, mercenary or adventurer or something along those lines.
"And you said Giselle, that this little girl and her brother were the only ones who were unaffected by the strangeness going on in the Orphanage, yes?
The only ones, yeah.
Well, I think they were protected by this helmet, says Wander. The whole thing has been blessed with some sort of holy magic, and it appears that, well, even though the rest of the armor is missing, the helmet still retains some of the magic, and it might have kept the kids safe as long as it was in their presence. You said this little girl was carrying it and had kept it as a memento from her mother. Well, it appears that this might be the clue that we need. This probably is the thing that kept them sane while all the other children basically developed minds like mashed potatoes.
Huh. Okay. Maybe we should take it with us.
Yes, you can take it if you want to.
Yeah, let's take it with us.
Okay, mark the helmet down in your inventory, that you have this strange helmet.
I'm not exactly sure the extent of the magic in there, says Wander. If you gave it to me for a couple hours, I could probably figure it out, but you can also take it with you. It's up to you.
Yeah. I'll take it for now. I mean, we always have time to... We might have time on as we... it's going to take us a little while to get to those kids, so...
Alright, so...
do you think we could examine it, Wander?
Sorry?
Or Giselle? Do you think you could walk and examine it?
Where do you have to go? Where are we going? What's on the agenda?
Well, we're gonna go try to track these kids, maybe to the fairy circle. We're following this map.
Wander looks down at the map.
Well, that's awfully far, Lester. I'm an old man. I don't know. God. We're gonna go all tracking through the jungles. Ooh, I didn't bring my snowshoes.
Giselle is like,
It's not snowing, you old fool. Let's do it. This is the scientific find of the century. If there truly is a fairy circle inside the inner regions of Tartec, then we need to decipher it and figure out the magic surrounding it. Wander sighs and says, "Oh, I thought this was going to be a vacation, but all right, we'll come along now. Who's going to lead us on this mad quest?"
Well, Quentin and I. Quentin knows the terrain better than me. But
Quentin pops his head out of the door and is like,
Whatcha! All right, we're gonna go kick some ass and save some kids wherever they are.
yeah. But before we go, let's just see if we can look in the rooms where those guards were staying.
okay. There, the thing is, you don't actually know which rooms the guards were staying in. They were all dispersed about the orphanage.
Well, let's just look through the remainder of the rooms and see if there's anything.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, in the interest of time, I'll summarize. You guys basically do a sweep of the house, of the orphanage, looking around for anything that can particularly give you any clues as to those strange guards or to Albertus. You don't find anything that looks like it had belonged to the guards. It appears that those guards or those doppelganger creatures didn't have any possessions. They were they literally just seemed to have been things created that didn't have to go through the eating, sleeping, and drinking and bathing that the rest of us do.
Do we find anything of note? Anything that might be useful, or potions or magic items? Or...
No other potions or magic items in particular.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, let's blow this joint.
All right. So, are you going to go directly into the forest, or are you going to notify the local authorities of what happened, or?
Yeah. We're gonna make one stop. We're gonna go. Since we apparently killed a version of the mayor, we're gonna go find out if there's still another mayor.
All right. So you leave the orphanage, and you're back out in Aquaria.
Oh, there he is.
And you can see Mayor Flintgristle sitting on the stoop of his apartment, He's leaning forward in a very, very precarious position, trying to scratch a very delicate part of his ass that he cannot quite reach. And he's smoking furiously at his pipe as he does it. But he appears to be sitting there. He's at his usual position on the stoop.
Okay, let's go over. All right.
You guys go over, and he's like, "Hey, Lester, how's it going?"
Well, given that the people in the orphanage nearly tried to kill us, one of which looked exactly like you, I would say not great.
Who, what, when, where, why? Yeah, well, what you talking about? I'm going to assume you give him a rundown.
Well, yeah, I give a rundown. You can look over at what happened in the orphanage yourself. But there's something really fishy going on there, some really high-level magic. And we think that whatever's happening to the kids is putting them in danger at this very moment. And I'm going to show him the map that we found.
Mayor Flint Gristle takes a look at the map, and he wipes his head and seems a little sweaty and disturbed, and just says, "Well, this is a big bag of chips and pickles. I never seen nothing like this before. And you said there was people that tried to kill you in the orphanage, and one of them looked like me? This is insanity."
Yeah. Yeah, there was those two. I don't know what they're called. The guards. You must have seen them walking around. They're not guards. They're staff members in the orphanage. We were just stopped by to ask some questions. As you know, we're here investigating all these dreams. We just stopped by to ask some questions, and then before we knew it, I guess we'd asked too many, and then the one that looked like you attacked Claudia and nearly beat her senseless, and then locked the door on us and started attacking me.
That's right, Mayor Frank Gristle, says Claudia. A version of you almost flat out sexually harassed and battered me to the ground. You should feel ashamed of yourself and all of your doppelganger brothers, Mayor Flint Gristle, picking on poor defenseless little girls like me.
So is there anything that you're not telling us that would be helpful for us to know? Because at this point, we were lucky to escape with our lives.
I ain't got no idea about any of this, says the mayor. If you want to, you can do like a perception check on him to see if he's lying, or try to determine if he knows anything else. You do have your eye for deceit ability, so that might come in handy here.
It's the D20, right? One D20.
17. It appears that poor Freddie Flint Gristle is being honest. He was truly ignorant and is kind of looking just as stunned about this whole scenario as you guys were when you were attacked in the orphanage.
Yeah.
It looks like he never expected anything like this to happen in Aquaria, and seems vaguely distressed that today he might actually have to do some work.
Yeah. Well, besides you, is there anybody else that you would be able to trust in the side of the law or the government that would be of help at this point?
Well, are there still children?
Those kids have gone missing.
Are there still children in the orphanage? Asked the mayor. He took a big group of them out this morning. I didn't think nothing of it, but damn, I'll be damned. Sons of bitches committing child molestation under my very nose.
Well, I mean, we don't know that, but I mean, he's taking them off somewhere, and I'll just show him the note from Rosella. This is the note. This is one of the girls at the orphanage who actually does not appear doped up, and this is the note that she wrote. It's pretty concerning.
So he reads over the note and then nods to himself and says, "You're damn right this is concerning. Look, I'm
I'm gonna go over to the orphanage, and you said there are some kids there. We'll take them to someplace safe. We'll take them to the Troglodyte's Toe. I can trust Marvin and Mondo, and I mean, damn, we're gonna have to send for some reinforcements from Tartec. That maybe the police or the rangers might have to come down here. I'll have to send a messenger. Maybe I can get Tayron to go up there, get somebody down here.
Okay.
And so he says, and you guys said you're gonna go off and try to track the kids down?
Yeah, I mean, unless you have any other ideas. This area on the map, I mean, it seems pretty non-specific. Is there something in that area?
I mean, it's dark forest. If you leave now, you can get there by, I guess, late afternoon. I mean, I ain't never been to that part of the forest myself, but it looked pretty nondescript. Don't really know what would be there.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a fairy circle?
Is that type of venereal disease? I had never heard of no circles of fairies.
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Alright, well look, I gotta go and take care of business, say. Damn, didn't expect I'd actually have to do work.
And so he begins to saunter off towards the direction of the orphanage. Take a look for himself on the crime scene, so to speak.
Okay. Alright, well let's, I guess we should go. We should go after those kids.
Alright, Lester Fester, says Quentin. Let's do it to it. Once we start out, we'll make good progress on the road. We should be able to get there in about, I guess, 2.5 hours, I'm assuming, if we hurry.
What happens if could we get horses?
You could, from Tayron.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He only has about enough room in the cart for, like, let's see, you came here, it was you, him, and Claudia. He's got enough room for 4 people to squeeze into the cart.
I was just thinking, like, we need some way of transporting, like, kids back, maybe. We probably need some, maybe horses would be, yeah.
Horses would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be noisier, but let me run over and get Tayron. He seems eager to help.
So you run into the Troglodyte's Toe. And let me just delete everybody. Alright. So you're back in the Troglodyte's Toe right now, and then Tayron's taking care of the usuals.
Okay. Alright. Let me just explain. I'll explain the situation briefly to Tayron and ask, like, are there any horses and/or that cart that you brought us here in that we could use to track on this little excursion to track down these children?
Oh, geez, sir. Well, oh my God, it sounds terrible. The kids. I can. Oh God, I can. The cart got a little damaged. I can bring it to you, but and give you the 2 horses that I used when we came here. There's a possibility that it might fall apart on the road. I tried to patch it up as best I could, but I didn't really have that much time, sir. You're free to take it, though.
Okay. What about horses for the other people? How many can you spare?
Marvin asked you, how many do you guys need? We got 2. We only got 2 horses, and they're the ones that Tayron took to Tartec with him.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we'll use those. I mean, we'll probably need what, two horses to pull the cart.
Yeah, 2 horses to pull the cart.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll use those then. At the very least, that'll give us something. Some kids can ride in there if we're successful in finding them.
Okay. So Tayron's gonna go back and try to rustle up the horses for you. It'll take him a couple minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say you guys go back out in front, and you're waiting for Tayron to rustle up some horses for you. Let me just get the horse graphics. All right. So the cart is going to be something like this. All right, that Tehran brings. And you got 2 horses. 2 mangy horses that kind of resemble more like donkeys than horses, but they're the same ones that that accompanied you here.
Okay.
And that barely survived that attack with the barbarians. All right. And so they're here with the mangy cart. Unfortunately, there's only room for 4 people in the cart. So how do you want to proceed, really?
Tehran's like, would you like me to go with you, sir? I can get you there super fast. Quentin's like, hell no, this kid will be a liability. This kid doesn't know any more shortcuts than I do. I can guide us faster.
Well, I think probably the less people that go, probably the better, because we're going to need to be quiet and more people, and now we have a cart. It's going to just make more noise. So actually, probably would be good is Tehran, if you could actually help the mayor, all that stuff that we just told you, we told to the mayor, but he seemed really kind of confused about what to do. He mentioned that
it's all that tobacco he smokes, sir. It befuddles the mind.
Yeah, he may actually need your assistance. He mentioned he may need your assistance to get some backup.
He actually needs. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think he does. I think you could actually probably be a better service to us by staying here and helping him than coming along on this, because I don't actually even know if this is going to be very fruitful. There's a couple kids that are left in the orphanage, and he needs to get those folks to safety. He mentioned putting them in the troglodyte's tow.
Automatically, sir. I can take care of those kids. They're like my little brothers and sisters since I graduated from the orphanage. I can feed them greasy sausages and eggs and make sure that they get over whatever ailment is possessing them.
Yeah, we figured that would probably make more sense for you.
All right, so Tehran's out. Then, who will you bring with you then?
Well, I think we can all go. I mean, but I think the like some folks can ride in the cart, and then other folks can basically just walk behind or run behind. And see who's nice and strong. I can run with him.
This might impede our progress. This might impede our progress a little bit, Lester Fester, says Quentin. If people are going to be walking, it means we can't go as high speed as we would be able to otherwise in a cart.
Okay. Well, does anybody not want to come on this excursion?
Well, basically, right now, it's up to you. You get to make a choice of who wants to go and who doesn't. Everybody's willing to go with you. You can choose to have everybody go and have some people walk, and potentially it'll be a bit slower getting to your final destination, or you can choose to leave, I guess, 2 people behind, and you would all jump in the car and you would all be able to move along faster. It's up to you.
Okay. Well, why don't we take let's see. Maybe we'll leave. We need someone dependable here to provide backup. We also need. Do you guys? Let me ask this. For the wizards, between the 2 of the wizards, do you guys have a way of communicating with each other if you're far apart?
Well, there's message spells that can enable us to communicate with each other, but we didn't prepare them today. I would have to go and prepare them, says Wander. that will take some time. We would, like, both of us need to prepare it, and then once we do, then we're able to. So yes, there is a way for us to communicate over long distances. We just didn't prepare the right spells, but we can do that if necessary.
How long would that take?
It'd take about a half hour or so.
Okay. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't you talk amongst yourselves and see who wants to go on this excursion more? Because we'll need someone also dependable back here to communicate back and forth in case we get in trouble. Because we may need backup of some sort.
All right. So, obviously, Claudia's gonna go with you
Yeah, Claudia will go.
because she's
I'll
your
go.
she's your
Quentin,
right-hand girl. Quentin wants to go.
Yeah,
Um,
Quentin wants to go.
Sybil
I don't know if,
would prefer to go because she wants to be with Quentin, but then there are also the wizards.
Yeah. I think probably both wizards don't need to go.
The
We need
wizards
one- it would be
don't
really handy
need to
have
go.
One back here.
One could go. They're both. Giselle and Wander both have similar abilities, and so if you wanted to, you could have one of them
Yeah.
stay here and the other one come with you. Maybe walk alongside, or maybe one of them could sit in the cart because they're old, and the rest of you guys could like walk alongside, and then you could ask the one accompanying you to work on preparing the message spell that he or she needs to communicate with the other across long distances, and that way you can keep in touch with each other.
Yeah. The other thing is that even though 4 people could ride in the cart, but one person, this may be a little ghetto, but one person could potentially ride on one of the horses.
You could try to do that too. Yeah.
Someone who's comfortable riding a horse could potentially do that.
They're very
So we
scra-
could-
they're
we
they're
could
very
actually-
very scraggly mares. So yeah, if you want to, you can try to make it. You can try to make the squeeze.
Someone who's small and light could do that. So,
All
all
right.
right.
Sybil volunteers to ride on a horse. She is very svet and agile, so she volunteers to sit on one of the horses.
All right. All right. So, while we're preparing that stuff, are the wizards preparing their message spells? I guess.
Yes. Now, which one do you want to take with you? It's up to you.
Well, I think Wander expressed the most kind of displeasure at going on this thing. I think Giselle, I keep forgetting the name.
Giselle.
Was more interested in it. So I think Wander would be better to stay here and then have Giselle go on this part. As long as they can communicate back and forth, I think we'd be okay.
All right, so you totally can do that. All right, so Giselle obviously quite excited to potentially see a fairy circle. She hops on the cart and then begins preparing the spells that she needs to communicate with Wander over long distance. All right, and it's basically pulling scrolls out of her pack and then fiddling at them and then reading them and then preparing certain items that she needs and certain incantations that she'll need to use as well. All right, and so Claudia also hops on the cart, and Tehran goes off to assist the mayor potentially, and finally there's just Quentin and you, and so everybody's hopping onto the cart and just you and Wander. All right.
And Wanda says, "All right, Lester, I'll be here, and I'll try to assist the mayor as best I can. And sorry, I mean, I would like to go with you. It's just the gout it hurts me when I need to travel great distances. But Giselle, a bit younger than I am, she should be of a great help to you. And we'll prepare spells so we can communicate, so we can at least keep abreast of developments in 2 different places."
Yeah, that'd be very handy. We need someone dependable here.
All right, Lester. Well, I hope you can find what you're looking for, and I hope you can save those kids. I'll also do some poking around in the orphanage and see if I can't find a way to turn them back to normal. Try to figure out the parameters of the spell and figure out exactly what this guy did, and maybe we'll be able to get these kids all together safe and sound once this day is done.
Yeah.
All right. So, Wander steps aside, and you hop on the cart, and so it's a bit of a ghetto construction. You got 4 people crammed in the back. An old female wizard, your faithful assistant Claudia, hyperactive Quentin, and you sitting in front of them. And then on this donkey, you've got Sybil balancing and looking quite beautiful as she does so. And so you guys take off. Alright, a motley group of individuals taking off to save some children. And we'll see what happens to you guys next time. That's where we're going to end for tonight.
Alright.
Alright.
It's times like these I always think of the American Gladiators theme song.
What theme song is that? Alright. So yeah, we'll...
Super Friends theme. I think that's straight. I don't
Oh, that is kind of the Super Friends theme also. But yeah, next time we will pick up... yeah, that's like one of the Super Friends shows. I think it has a very similar theme. Next time we'll pick up with you guys following that map to whatever spot that Albertus fellow was writing about. And hopefully next time the Roll20 music will work as well.
Yeah.
Alright. But getting a bit closer to the truth behind this strange mystery.
Okay. It's a good episode. Had a little bit of fisticuffs.
A little bit of fisticuffs.
Intrigue.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to add certain modifiers when your attacks connect, because we do combat kind of sparingly actually, but I guess it's okay because you usually don't notice.
I don't know. I wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah, I'll remember now, because now it's a bit easier now that everything's on your character sheet. You can click on certain attacks and it'll just do the dice rolls for you and add the modifiers automatically. I need to get used to doing it that way. But yeah, you can do it that way from now on as well. And remember, you have certain abilities now, like the uncanny dodge and the insightful fighting, that can make attacking a lot more intricate than just bashing people over the head.
Okay.
All right, and I will stop the recording for now, and we will pick up next time.
Excellent.